What's going on, world? It's your homie Sensei Ripping. I'm back again with another video. It seems as if Vlad has had a change of heart. For those who may not know, recently Vlad was on Willie D's podcast, and he finally decided to apologize to the minister after misquoting him a few years back. Okay, now, of course, as we all know, several people, including Lord Jamar, Godfrey, and others, decided to boycott Vlad and his platform after he refused to apologize to the minister. Okay, now here we are in 2025. Vlad has decided to give Willie D the exclusive. Okay, according to Vlad, for years people wanted to ask him questions about his issue with, the minister Farrakhan, and according to Vlad, he told people he was not answering any questions. Right, I will not be answering any questions related to the minister. However, according to Vlad, he wanted to give this exclusive interview with Willie D. And in the interview, Willie D confirmed that him and Vlad are close friends, okay? But Willie D said behind the scenes, all right, I rock with Vlad, been rocking with you, but I had to, join the people in their boycott against Vlad and his platform, all right? Now, of course, like I said, if you haven't seen this full interview, I'll make sure to leave the link in the description because it is 2 hours long, all right? But yeah, recently, Lord Jamar, who was mentioned, of course, Vlad didn't mention his name per se, but he said there were individuals he used to be cool with that betrayed his trust, right, by revealing the conversations behind the scenes that was had. Now, of course, as we all know, what's the name? Lord Jamar and Godfrey, they had their falling out about a month or so ago, right? And Lord Jamar said he manipulated Godfrey into boycotting Vlad and his platform. You get what I mean? This was just earlier this year. But recently, Lord Jamar responded to Vlad mentioning him in this apology, right? In this interview with Willie D. Let's get into it so y'all can check it out and hear exactly what was said by Lord Jamar. And I'll give y'all my take afterwards, man. All right. Well, let's get right into Lord Jamar being mentioned in this Willie D interview with Vlad. Of course, like I said, a lot of people feel like the apology is it's pretty much too late, man. Okay, we done already got past that. The time to apologize for misquoting the minister was, several years ago. But for whatever reason, Vlad has, had a change of heart. Recently, he's been seen on several platforms doing interviews. So, but yeah, let's get into what Lord Jamar had to say about him being mentioned in this interview with Vlad and Willie D. All right. Make sure to like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. But yeah, let's get right into it.
Vlad, how bad did it get? Like the flack. Just how bad did this whole thing get? And now, instead of Vlad admitting that basically he was a scumbag to his friends and, he was just making he made the wrong choices at this time, Vlad tries to spin it as if me and Godfrey somehow betrayed his trust and hurt him. Basically by talking about the conversation that we had with him. He was upset that we let that be known, even though in the conversation it was specifically said. And I remember when Godfrey said, we're gonna shit on you, right? And I'm like, word. And everybody on the phone laughed at that, including Vlad. Everybody laughed. Okay, that was one of those Godfrey moments. All right. And listen, I'm keeping it real. I'm not even that happy with Godfrey right now, but I'm going to keep it fucking real as to what the fuck happened. And Godfrey is the one that said, we're going to shit on you, right? And that shit was funny as fuck. So don't act like you didn't know that we was going to talk about this shit. So yeah, at 7:20, Vlad says we talked about conversations we had with him, and somehow the conversations weren't represented properly and things were twisted around. Vlad, what exactly wasn't represented properly and what was twisted around? What was twisted around? He said that we made him look bad and we made ourselves look good. Bro, we didn't have to do anything to make you look bad. You looked bad. The shit you was doing was making you look bad. What the fuck are you talking about? We didn't have to flip nothing. We didn't have to twist nothing around. We let motherfuckers know exactly what happened. This guy was upset. Okay? This guy was upset with Farrakhan. Even when he found out that he was misquoted, he was like, well, fuck, Farrakhan said the stuff about Jews in the past. Saying shit like that. You think I don't remember? And as far as really revealing certain shit and having trust in motherfuckers, nigga, you know I know some shit. But I'm not the type of scumbag that would fucking really start airing you out like that. Like, come on, bro. Stop it. We talking about this particular conversation, okay? We're talking about this particular conversation. But there's certain lines that real men don't cross, regardless if you even in a beef with a motherfucker. Even if y'all not seeing eye to eye, there's certain lines you don't cross. So stop acting like those lines were crossed. They weren't. This particular conversation, yes, was talked about because it needed to be aired out. You needed to be aired out on this particular subject because you was acting like a stubborn, little spoiled little asshole. Okay? If you want to keep it real, that's what you was doing. And this whole conversation that you've had so far with Willie D is very narcissistic. It's very not fully taking accountability for what you did and trying to point fingers at this one and that one. That's what narcissists do, bro. Oh, yeah. I've been studying these motherfuckers. Okay? So, anyway, so he said the way his relationship with me and Godfrey fell apart is what really hurt. Although he never said me and Godfrey's name, but that's who he was talking about. And I'm sure y'all knew that. 8:21. He still hasn't apologized. 8 minutes and 21 seconds into the video, into the interview, he still hasn't apologized. But he's telling Willie D that he respects their relationship because he never went out and talked about him, you know, the way that Godfrey and I did. But please, what did I say? That we didn't went out and talk to them. But please let the record reflect that Godfrey specifically. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I said that earlier. Godfrey is the one that said, we're going to talk about you, basically. So don't act like we didn't give you a heads up. 8:45, 8 minutes and 45 seconds. Still no apology to the minister. Because you see what's funny, there's the little clip that's going around, right? Where you hear him say, I apologize to, you know, Minister Farrakhan for misquoting him, blah, blah, blah. But people don't really understand the context of when that came in the conversation. So I'm just trying to put a little context to the conversation. Dee Dee here said, "Hey Lord, I was dealing with a stripper." Okay. Is that why you're late to the show? I'm trying to understand, but okay, you're here now. So thank you, Dee Dee here. You're here. So at 8:45, Willie D shouts out Godfrey and myself again and brilliantly tells Vlad, when you hurt somebody, you don't get to dictate how they respond. Oh. Now that was a great one right there, Willie D. Because that fucked him up right there. That fucked up his little angle that he was trying to come with. When you hurt someone, you don't get to dictate how they respond. He's the one that hurt us. See, a narcissist will only look at things from their perspective. They won't see the shit that they did to you. They only see the shit that you did to them. And the whole time, the whole perspective was that we did shit to him. He didn't see the position that he put us in as black men who were supposed to be cool with this dude, who we're telling him the same shit that Willie D is telling him. Like, yo, black people see Farrakhan, damn near like the president. Farrakhan is like, he raised many of us. You understand? Indirectly raised us and showed a lot of us how to be men. Whether you agree with Farrakhan right now with certain things, that is neither here nor there. The reverence that we have for Farrakhan in the black community is something that, I'm going to be honest, we might not see it again. We might not see that again because we don't even have reverence for each other like that. And a lot of us aren't doing works and dedicating ourselves to things like that. All right, Dee Dee here. I appreciate you.
All right, y'all. That was a bit of Lord Jamar's reaction to Vlad's apology on Willie D's podcast. Now, again, if you still haven't watched the full interview with Vlad on Willie D, I'll make sure to leave the link in the description so y'all can check out and hear everything that was said by Vlad in its entirety. Okay, now, as we all know, Vlad, for whatever reason, he's been doing a lot of interviews recently, right? For whatever reason, people say maybe it's because the numbers have started to decline on his platform. And according to Vlad, that isn't the case. He wanted to make right of this situation. Now, one thing I will say is when Lord Jamar says that Vlad is narcissistic, I can truly see that being the case, because when you watch this interview, it's never his fault. Initially going into the apology, he blamed individuals around him for having the audacity to not apologize for putting out misinformation on his platform. Let's just look at it from that aspect. Homie, you're a journalist. When you put out misinformation that's very irresponsible and reckless, you always have to go back and correct your mistake. What about that? What about journalistic integrity? You know what I mean? Damn the culture vulture and all of the racial conversations that go into the Jews and Farrakhan. What about the fact that you're an independent journalist who has a platform that's heard by thousands, if not millions of people? Shouldn't you have a responsibility to go correct that? You know what I mean? That wrong? You know what I'm saying? Inform the people on the accurate information, but it goes to show Vlad, he uses his own platform. He takes things personal to lash at people. Whenever he doesn't get what he wants, now he wants to bash you publicly. It was similar in this situation because initially When Vlad made the mistake by misquoting the minister, he was brought in, but he was asked to interview someone other than Minister Farrakhan, and this is what bothered him. We've seen this before with Marlon. He wanted a certain number. Marlon didn't give him that number, and what did he do? He bashed him. In this situation, Vlad wanted an exclusive interview with Farrakhan. He didn't get that. They said, "Look, you can't get the big homie, but we'll have you interview one of these cats in here." And Vlad got pissed, and this is why he doubled down on his mistake, which is crazy because at the end of the day, if you know you did something wrong, why not go out there and address the people? And that's exactly what Lord Jamar is saying. It's because Vlad is just full of himself. He believes he is the end all be all of this content creating space. Now, granted, he made a lane for himself. He is one of many, who paved the way for content creators such as myself and others. But at some point, the world moves on, man. Regardless of the ego, you have to understand that you have a responsibility to the people. Now, granted, understanding when you're from this culture, you should know why Black people don't joke around when it comes to the minister. You should understand, but when you're not from the culture, you don't get it. This is why individuals like Vlad, academics, and others, it's obvious. They didn't live within the culture. They make money off of it, but they don't fully understand what it means to be a part of this fight, this struggle. It's a lot easier now with 2025. Everybody making money, but there was a time when, things were different in the world. Let's just be honest. And now that we've evolved, with the times, certain things still are the same. It's okay for non-Black people to speak on Black issues, but when it's in reverse, it's a problem. Even in this video, Vlad, basically said that, Farrakhan said some disrespectful things to the Jews, so why can't I do the same thing in reverse? You see the mentality, it's never rooted in accountability. As a grown-ass man, I was wrong. I should have never allowed the situation to get to that point. Never allowed a situation like this to possibly ruin the relationship between you and your audience, because let's be real, majority of your following are Black people. You're covering content within Black culture. But yet when you offend your audience, your demographic, you don't feel responsible to apologize. It takes you 5 years to finally acknowledge something that everyone has been talking about for several years. The boycott and seeing so many people choose to not go on the platform. Listen, it's obvious. Your actions is what burnt a lot of bridges in relationships. And now you got Willie D, allowing you on the platform, but it's too late. Your reputation, it is what it is. People already feel that you are a vulture within this space, but it's just the way you treat people. You disrespected Marlon. You get what I'm saying? You disrespected the minister. How could you truly care about Black culture and not know the struggle and not know why people are pissed and outraged when they see stuff like this happen? Be very mindful of individuals who are unwilling to take accountability for their actions and then play victim to a situation that you created. At the end of the day, like we all know, Vlad is going to continue to make money, doing interviews and things of that nature. But once you damage your credibility and your reputation, you can't get that back, man. Like I said, Lord Jamar and Godfrey, we all know about their falling out over a flat earth debate. It's already being said that we might see Godfrey back on Vlad. I'm not sure. Like I said, it's a reason why you see Vlad out here doing all of these interviews, because he knows people are fed up. They're tired of him and the many other vultures within the culture who constantly bring more bad than good. Let's just be real. Come on. No, you're not forcing people on the platform, but the way you set the table is that interrogation style of interviewing has made the job for law enforcement much easier now because of platforms like Vlad and others who essentially target individuals who have a certain track record, all for the sakes of going viral. In this case, this is something different because you misquoted, essentially lying on the minister, and it took you several years to apologize for your actions. You'd rather blame those around you and play victim because Lord Jamar and Godfrey chose to boycott you on your platform, rightfully so. It's okay when y'all take a stand, They did it with Kyrie. Kyrie Irving ain't do nothing but post a link. The whole world went against that man. Okay. So when people take a stand to go against you and your platform, you can't be offended by it. Point blank, period. But with that being said, y'all let me know, what are your thoughts on Lord Jamar's reaction to Vlad and his apology on Willie D's podcast? Like I said, here we are several years later, and for whatever reason, Vlad has had a change of heart. Do you think his apology is genuine, or do you agree with Lord Jamar when he says that Vlad is a narcissist, or he's narcissistic, always thinking of himself, thinking he's the end-all, be-all, and whenever he doesn't get what he wants the lash out? This is a mentality or a pattern of behavior we've seen with Vlad in the past. And like I said, in this interview, it took him several minutes before he just apologized. But the context is important. I encourage y'all to watch the full interview so you can hear everything that was said in its entirety, because now we get an apology from Vlad, but people are still not convinced. And that's what happens when you wait several years to rewrite a wrong. But with that being said, y'all let me know, what are your thoughts on the Vlad controversy? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But with that being said, that's all I got for y'all today. My name is Sensei Rip. Till next time, peace. Salute world, I need y'all to do me a favor right quick and tap into the homie Grand Finale's latest video titled Sidelines. Okay, the full video is available on his YouTube channel. However, I'm about to bless y'all with a quick teaser. Okay, if you like what you hear, make sure to head on over to his channel and leave a comment. All right, and make sure to tell him that Rip sent you. Okay, run them numbers up. All right, y'all, I'm out. Peace.
Upon the world before you dearly depart.
Let the world go by. Just let the world go by. And it'll all be just fine.
Thank you for watching my video. If you like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also, hit that notification bell to get the latest on hip-hop, sports, comedy, whatever. All right, we got you covered over here at Forgotten Kings TV. And also, click on one of these videos, okay? All right, y'all.